Welcome to the Treasury Elite Leadership Series. I would like to thank all our viewers and members for supporting this noble cause of Treasury Elite, whose main objective is networking, mentoring, and knowledge sharing. Time and again, we bring in world class speakers and business leaders across the world in the field of Treasury, global financial markets, leadership, and management, and conduct various programs, webinars, and conferences in different formats. Treasury Elite Leadership Series is one such format where we learn from industry thought leaders about their experiences of running their businesses, opportunities and challenges they encounter, and broad global trends they see for the future. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abhishek Goenka, founder of IFA Global and Treasury Elite. We bring in world-class FX treasury practices for companies across India over the last 15 years. And today we have Mr. Sunil Gala, Managing Director of Navneet Education Limited. Mr. Gala is a member of the Gala family and the Managing Director of Navneet Education Limited. He was inducted in the family business at a very young age and took up the responsibility of managing key areas of the group like finance, legal, taxation, human resources, etc. Over his tenure, he has built in a great teams and brought scale to the business and transformed Navneet as a global brand. Welcome, Mr. Gala. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much for this, Abhishek.
Glad to have you today as a part of Treasury Elite Leadership Series. In the next 30 minutes, we'll love to learn about your experiences of running the group.
Sure.
So my first question to you, Mr. Gala, is I think one of the most common thread which I could link with a lot of global CEOs or managing directors would be that they are not doing this for the money. I would like to ask you one single biggest reason for you to get out of bed every morning and get yourself to work. What is that drives you today?
In single statement, I can say, what is it in giving that we receive? So with that statement, which is inculcated in our brain, in our body since childhood, we get up with the same feeling and we go ahead and try to do as best as possible for everything.
That's amazing. That's an amazing thought. And that's probably the law of karma with which we all have been brought up during the many years. So the Gala family started with a retail store in 1959. How did you develop such an iconic, memorable brand known as Navneet Education? And what is your brand philosophy?
So just to correct, the retail shop started by my elders was way back in 1945. Till 59, they were doing retailing, then wholesaling. One day, it so happened that a couple of publishers did not give the quantities that my uncle and my father wanted for wholesaling. That day, my father felt, why can't we publish ourselves? And therefore, they identified an author. He already had written a book called Hindi Do Dino Mein. Fortunately, he only had said that I would keep Navneet Hindi Do Dino Mein. Navneet is a butter, makhan, as we call it in India, Sanskrit. So since then, publication journey started. And yes, thereafter have done several publications and done several businesses related to education.
So, is there anything direct in terms of your brand philosophy that the entire group connects to, or which you try to communicate to the market?
I would say a single word, which is quality. Now, quality, since what I've heard from my elders and since I have joined business, is the prime importance that we all give to. Be it product, when I'm saying product, the most important thing is the quality of content. At times, sales team do complain that our products are not coming in time. But as a philosophy, without compromising on the quality, our product never come out in the market. Then comes printing, then comes logistics, or the relationships that we have everywhere, including our employees. Navneet brand is known for its quality, ethical values. So these are the two important things that we always carry forward.
Quality and ethics are the two brand values what Navneet carries. Uh, so, Mr. Gala, digital education is getting big. The Baijus of the world are dominating the scene. What trends are you seeing in the education industry over the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, good question. Little disturbing question as far as Navneet is concerned. Primarily, I should say that no doubt great companies like Byju's have really done exceedingly well. They somehow got some info or some understanding of the requirement and they played it very well. Unfortunately, Navneet is not yet great successful in digital world today. And the main reason that we always focused on for the masses, and that is for the SSC curriculum of the country. No doubt we are just present in 2 states of the country. In SSC schools, digital usage of digital is very, very limited. And therefore, forget about online coaching or online learning. Even in the school, usage of digital is very, very low. Adoption is very, very low. Teachers are not equipped to use these digital products. And for all that reason, we have not really been able to, get traction in the business. Though we are present for almost last 10 years now, but we unfortunately have not received a traction. But now we are very hopeful because of this pandemic. Even SSC schools have realized that this is the best way to teach students in such times. And not only during such times, but going forward, they believe that digital learning is the way forward. Now inquiries have really started very well, and not only from the schools, but now also from the students and parents to use digital product for learning. So now we believe our journey towards digital education will be great.
I understand. Now I think the speed of the digital education is going to intensify because now the options are very limited and
That's
they
right.
have to move towards that area. So, any specific innovation that you or your company have undertaken which have given you a significant edge in the industry? And what is it which is your secret sauce which makes Navneet synonymous with publishing in Gujarat and Maharashtra, and now also a choice for companies like Target, etc., for exports?
I will say a couple of innovation that my company did even before I joined. One thing that my elders realized that there was no standardization in the schooling system or in the teaching system, particularly when they have to evaluate a child. So knowing that difficulty, my elders thought of a product which we call it as workbooks, which means even if school has 2, 3, 4 divisions of a same standard, and even if teachers are different for each division, then also questions asked and the expected answers to those questions to be written by the student has to be in a typical format. And therefore, by giving away the workbooks to the students through schools, we really could bring in standardization. So that was one of the area of activity that I believe has really played a great role. The other thing was the paper stationery that we came in around early 90s. No transparency at all by any manufacturer. There were no printed price also on a product. So we as publishers or we as Navneet, we thought that can we bring transparency to the end consumer so that they are not cheated at the end. So we brought in not only the MRP on each product, but also the sizes. There was too much of pilferage or too much of wrong things were done by manufacturers. They did not ever give exact size of a product. If the paper price increases, they would reduce the size of a book. All that was happening. So we gave the sizes also on it. That really changed the whole industry and benefited Navneet as well. Again, as a brand philosophy. Personally, I would say, apart from this bringing transparency in paper stationery products, personally, I would say that when we decided, of course, it was against the decision of my family on diversification, and that too in a formal education. Very few people might know about it, but Navneet has invested in a company which is capex-like model and runs or manages several schools in the country. So that is the great investment that we have done, and we are very fortunate that that company is doing very, very well right now. So these couple of things, that innovation made by the company or for a large item that I said by me, I feel that company has got a different edge, and very few companies have been able to do that till now.
Sure. So, how has been your business post COVID-19? What are the opportunities and challenges that emerge? Of course, you told me about one of the opportunities. The digital journey would be very fast. Any specific challenges which you are encountering in current situation?
So challenges, and the biggest challenge I would say, till schools don't reopen, we will have very limited sales even in the current year. So we are just awaiting for the government, respective state government's decision on schools reopening. If that happens, then we will be back to normal. We are very clear. No doubt. Apart from the, as you might know, we deal in K-12 segment. So primary and play school segment is likely to hit this year for sure. And the higher secondary and higher secondary will open soon, maybe by month of September. So we may lose out some sales in the current year as far as primary business is concerned. That is the only challenge. So I believe once in the current year, once schools reopen, we'll have major of our sales coming in. And going forward in subsequent year, then it will be as normal as we were earlier.
Sure. I wish you all the very best that all the governments come together and come out with a solution with regards to this as early as possible. And Mr. Kala, you are a large family of 12 members, which are in the business. What are the few things which you feel, and this is a question for a lot of these family-owned promoters who would be listening to this. So what are the few things that family-owned businesses should take care to make sure they keep a balance between family members and extreme professionalism, ensuring work ethics is never compromised?
I understand, and this question I rather get from most of the speakers, or everywhere I go to, I get the same question. So I believe if someone wants to really run a family business, first and the foremost, one should not think that I am working, someone else is not working. It is the joint effort, joint naseeb, which really plays a role in it. Secondly, respect to elders. When I'm saying respect to elders, not only family members, but be it our staff also. That is very, very important for it to, same ethos are maintained as at home. So one more thing that we did as a family, rather two more things that we did as a family. One, way back in 1987 or so, my elders drafted family understanding, as we call it, a constitution type of a paper, which each and every member of the family, working member of the family, signed it. And thereafter, we went on revising from time to time, and that system still continues. So there are no conflicts, no misunderstandings between the family. That was one important thing that we did. And secondly, as a practice, I would say any views of a family member to be given to other family members, which the other family members likes, does like. But we have made it a practice that everything should be sent in writing. No verbal communication as far as businesses are concerned. That has really helped us well. And so that there is clarity of thought, any reaction or acceptance is by way of writing. So everything is settled and accepted well by the family.
That's right. It's so important. I keep interacting with so many family businesses, and I think the constitution part which you mentioned is something that a lot of these people are maintaining, so that there is complete clarity and trust between each other. At the same time, the efficiencies of all the family members are completely focused towards the business.
Yeah.
So now one personal question. Now, please share one of the most extreme life-changing experience that you had, and how did your personal life evolve post that?
One incident which I remember, and it was too exotic. And now the words that I'll say, that you will realize what exotic was that, which is the foreign currency transaction which I had personally entered for the company, of course, way back in 2007. It was the worst time ever for me for almost 9 to 10 months, where I could see everyday losses mounting into crores and crores. So somehow we could come out of that without any cost, but that was the most heroic example that I have in my life. Post that, what we decided that we are in a business of publishing and stationery products. We are not in a business of foreign currency. Suppose that we made a strong forex policy internally. We never ever keep any positions open, never ever try to take loans which are cheap, because due to such combination of exotic. And now we really do not play on foreign currency at all. We just focus on business.
In fact, in my last 16 years, I have seen so many promoters sharing the same experience that you had in 2007-8. I think everybody got swayed. Nobody's mistake. But of course, the markets were extremely volatile during that time. And lots of people got lured by this and paid a hefty price. It's very fortunate that your company did not pay a price and learn from it, and now having a very strict risk management policy. And that's really commendable. But yeah, I can share that lots of people have the similar exotic experience like you had.
I know.
So now yours been your firm has had a great journey, and I'm sure there's a lot of learnings that has been passed from your seniors. So what was that one best career advice that you have ever received from your seniors? And as a veteran, what are the areas or skills you want entrepreneurs to invest their time in?
So, if when I remember my elders, I think the culture that they have set in the company, at any level in future, I'm sure, I'm part of second generation, we have third generation also in the business. I am sure that each one of us will abide to those cultures. And if we maintain that and just focus one thing, which is build goodwill, I'm sure everything will follow, including business and profitability. So we are just focusing, maintaining culture, as well as focusing just on goodwill of our goodwill of Navneet. Rest is following, as I said. Now, entrepreneurship that you asked, that what one should, or new entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurship by word itself, I would say it is capacity and willingness to develop, organize, and manage a business, or designing, launching, and running a business. For that, I would say one should have a self-confidence that is compulsory. Self-confidence. If you lose confidence, then I'm sure there'll be lot and lot of hurdles. The other thing that I strongly feel among the young entrepreneurs, particularly, uh, do not jump or invest what you don't know. Unfortunately, people, by just because my neighborhood has done this, my friend has done this, so people jump on it. And lastly, what I said, what we follow at Navneet, that build a strong culture as you observe at home, in the office also, or in the business also, and focus just on goodwill. I'm sure if these few things, otherwise each businesses will require different skill sets. But if you these common things, if you keep them in mind, I'm sure no one will really have to go back and wonder why did they do this.
Sure, sure. So goodwill, culture, quality, and focus on your core. In fact, most of the entrepreneurs I talk to, they always tell one thing that do your business, understand your business very carefully.
Hmm.
Put your 100% focus on that,
Hmm.
like this, continuous innovation, and then you are sorted. And the goodwill point, which you said, is so relevant because everybody wants to have quick money in this startup world, which is, the free money is coming from across the world. But people forget that it takes time to build up goodwill. And once that is made, money just keeps coming in, the profitability has been taken care of. So,
True.
very rightly said. So, my last question to you is one fun fact about you, what people do not know.
So post 7 p.m., I like partying and dancing, which many people would not know.
Very nice. That's extremely nice. So, with this, I would like to end this discussion, sir. It's been lovely to interview you. You seem to be a very, very calm personality, and I'm sure the steer of Navneet is in safe hands. And your thoughts on culture, building up goodwill, focusing on quality, and the tradition of the firm uh, uh, actually opens the eye of a lot of people who are listening, especially the way you people maintain discipline in a family-run business environment. I think that's so relevant, and I'm sure a lot of promoters and promoters' family would be listening to it, get a clear understanding about how to run a family-owned business, and how to
Yes.
run it, how to follow a tradition, and focus on your core business. So, thank you once again. Thank you for your time. It's been lovely interacting with you. Thank you, sir.